Who do we got here? Who do we have? Who is this man? Supadupaguy? I don't know. Supadupaguy. I have no idea what the fuck that name means, but hey, we're reviewing him. He's in a 2300 game. It looks like he's playing Winston, Diva, Lucio, Zen. Alright, he's playing a fair share of heroes. I don't know what his exact SR is, but we don't need to know. We don't need HD. We don't need HD. Oh, his name's Supadupaguy. Gotcha. And he's in chat, so we can fucking flame him as hard as we can. Come on, YouTube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the game starts. So he's doing Winston first.
I'll probably swap up like we get rolled or something.
Genji, Zen, Diva. Diva's low. Got a mercenary. I'm gonna go up and help.
Yeah, get out of there. Alright, wasn't bad. Something to your right. That's a... Yeah.
There's down. Zen's down.
You need to start looking for some squishier targets.
Timing's overrated.
Because right now your team's getting wrecked, I think, from the side flank. Hanzo's to your left.
Just assume.
Okay. And you said wasted the barrier, so you kind of feel bad about that. But since you cleared them, you got time. Oh. So I was actually thinking that as you were getting shot, you're like, if your team's getting attacked that hard, it's not a bad idea to just throw it on the shield, right? If you have to buy your team time, then use it. Oh, you jumped right into it! It does 1,000 damage, you have 1,000 health. That's alright, it happens.
Oh, I got on it, but
From Winston to Diva. Not a bad choice. So, where's your team? That's what you gotta be thinking right now. Where's your team at? How can I help them?
I'm about to die. Any healing friends? Where are you? Where'd you go? Why are you all flanking? Can you not wait?
That was just an odd maneuver.
Alright, you want to swap?
Alright. Now you're switching to Lucio. Alright, I wouldn't even consider that you played Diva. Or, for the matter of fact, you played Winston too short as well for my liking. For me to actually critique you on it. Why did you spend so much time on the barrier? That's a good question. Careful of tunnel vision. That was tunnel vision.
Is the McCree good?
I mean, look how out of position you were.
Has he killed you though? Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you need to get out of here.
Yeah, dude. BTS. Just do it. We need not Torb right now.
What your team needs to do is group up. It doesn't matter what characters you're playing. You guys haven't grouped up yet. And I don't know if it's your problem or if it's a team problem.
Yeah.
You're just playing because I thought we needed it? Yeah, it's not bad to experiment to see what you need.
Okay. Sense down. Who's down? I'm falling back.
Timing's overrated.
Oh my god, that McCree.
I think you're doing fine. I mean, it happens, right?
Timing's
You got two-shotted.
Oh my gosh, you just threw me with the Hanzo ult. I have my ult.
Fell down. You heard him land.
Timing's overrated.
Oof. And now we start to understand poor positioning. It's only through encountering someone better than you that you understand poor positioning.
On some Discord.
Yeah, no, it's good that you get your ass kicked like this, because people think poor positioning depends on the skill of the enemy, and no. There's a right and wrong answer. When you start finding people that can one and two shot you quite quickly, you start to understand what's actually safe and what's actually dangerous. You're doing good here.
The McCree's up there.
So as you go in, this is like okay. You speed boosted at the end, but that's what I was expecting. Like as soon as you go to the choke point when everyone was kind of full health. Also, there was a mercy there. Just like speed boost right through it.
I tried to keep you alive, Mercy, the other day. I'm out of here. Oh.
So get back.
Timing's overrated.
I don't know, dude. That McCree's going crazy.
Careful of crossing mid.
Yeah, it's actually crazy.
Yeah, you want to go up there and try to help him. Whoa! You went a little crazy there, man. I don't mind you, and I think you're going for a boop. Like to push the Reinhardt somewhere else. It was a good thought, but remember you're jumping into like 5 people. Your team all died. Gotta get back.
With the Mercy. I'm trying to get away from Steve, but she's following me around. I'm swapping because Winston's not doing enough, I don't think. I'm gonna try that very hard. I'm just not doing any kills. It's not happening. There's too much. Well, I don't know. They don't even have Mercy. But it's working, so.
Hey, we're down to support now.
Rounds low, finishing.
Phew.
Nice, good stuff. Nice job.
Well, they got a teleporter, so.
Did we get a tele yet?
Okay, good. I like that you hit tab. I don't know if you're looking at your own team, but you're looking for people to ferry. Also, you have one support, which is you. So don't feel bad if you have to ult something that seems silly. Alright, that's maybe a little bit too silly. Oh man, it takes a long time. And that was your first ult, and that was 3 minutes into the first round.
Sin's down. I just got charged by the guy. Oh my gosh.
That Reinhardt's getting so many charges off.
What? He got it around the corner. I have my ult. I'm coming.
That's funny. That it's just a bad spot to be in. A McCree with good aim, and you're in a small room with him. And a diva.
Nice, you got the
Essentially, you just needed to not be in that room. Again, remember, through this ass beating, you're starting to understand what's actually safe. Yeah, it's gonna be it.
Yeah, they don't tell me. I'm good. On the point.
They kind of died before I could get there. Yeah, Supa, they definitely did die before you could get there. Man. So this is really good to talk about because this is purely about positioning. And this is the bad habit almost everyone gets in. So like how I said with the Junkrat beforehand, like, he kept on running past the center line. You don't fucking cross the center line. You'll get your ass kicked. What he's thinking, he's like, oh, what are they going to do? Two-shot me? Yes, they will. And you start understanding that this entire area is all of a sudden not safe. This is poor positioning. Even probably up to here. And if they're really smart and they have a tank push up, then this is kind of poor positioning, right? Like, you start understanding that, oh shit. Against good people, they will fuck you up very quickly. You learned that with this McCree. Whoa, zoom in, zoom out. You learned that with this McCree. There was a couple times where you pushed forward and you're like, this is so safe. What's this guy going to do against this? And he just killed you instantly. Fuey with the 14 viewers. Thank you, Fuey. Yeah, like, you have to start understanding how quickly someone can kick your ass if they're good. Especially McCree. McCree's #1 in ass kicking. Because all he has to do is two-shot you. I don't think there's any quicker way to die in Overwatch. Besides, like, instantly. Maybe Soldier, but he would have to, like, 3-shot headshot you and then Helix Rockets. I don't know. 1.2 seconds is pretty fucking quick for 2 shots. The only person that's faster, right, is Junkrat. Yeah, besides Instagibbs. McCree's very quick at putting people down. And when you start understanding there's a good McCree, and it's funny because during that game, you specifically said, or someone did, is that McCree good? Meaning, if he wasn't good, you were going to try to joke on him, right? But if he was good, then you realize you have a lot less you have a lot less possibilities to do. Simply saying, is blank good at hero, whatever hero. This statement alone says you are not respecting him, or you do not respect people in general in Overwatch. I don't ever ask myself this question. Why? Because I play against the hero. I don't play against the player. Fix this. It's a big fucking issue. Yeah. Really, big point. Doesn't McCree have super low survivability? No. He has flashbang and combat roll. They're both kind of survivability things. If he finds you one-on-one and you're close, McCree is going to kill you. McCree is one of the better 1v1ers. Especially at medium. At mid-range, he's one of the best. But action, so I'm only going to be critiquing you on Lucio. Everything else I don't care about. Everything else is so low time play that I can't give you a proper critique on it or not. Always assume they're the best at their hero. Yes. Potato, I have not done yours yet. So Lucio, I think your extra is fine. It doesn't really matter. Action is not huge on Lucio's part. Positioning is though. Positioning. I think that's when you're a diva. Played Zen. You played Lucio for a death. You died. You played Zen. You guys lost 0.2 instantly. 0.3 got pushed in pretty fast. That's when you were Zenyatta, but Zenyatta was only for like a minute or two.
Aiming's overrated.
Man, so you played a lot of heroes. You switched 3 or 4 times in the first defense. Essentially, you played a hero for 1 or 2 deaths apiece until you lost the point. I'm just trying to find the similarities between everything that you played. So it takes me a little bit of time. Also, I'm on muscle relaxers right now, so I'm a little bit loopy. But I think you're fine here. Positioning, it has to do with this. So I would say what would I say? It's hard. It's so hard to explain. I mean, it's not hard to explain. I said it already. But essentially, you just weren't giving the proper heroes the proper respect they deserved. Yeah, like you weren't using cover enough. You weren't just staying out of sight range enough as a support class against a good DPS player. You guys have watched me, and you probably have noticed when there's a Lucio, and they're like, "This Junkrat can't hit me," and then I 2-shot him, and it looks really stupid on Lucio's part. They're like, "Why'd I do that? That was pretty dumb." I thought he couldn't hit me, but obviously he did. As a support, there is a time when you just kind of have to sit back and you're like, "Fuck, I need help with this," and maybe that's a hard pill to swallow for some people because that's a pretty big ego thing. Everyone wants to think every hero can, have some chance against any other hero, and you do, but don't discount where that hero is strong, right? I might take a 3v1 as a Junkrat in a small corridor. That doesn't mean I can take a one-on-one outside that corridor. With that McCree's deal is mid-range. Mid-range and lower. Short range, he's not the best, but he still provides a tremendous amount of damage. He's just more, he's easier to kill if you're closer. But at mid-range, he's just so far enough, but he still hits really hard. So your positioning was an issue. Logistics, I think you're doing the right thing at the right time. There's a couple times you pushed up with Lucio in very odd manners. Like you need to stick with your team. I won't even comment on the one ult. You know what you did wrong on the ult. That was just a brain fart, right? You just thought everyone was alive on the point, and they weren't. Just keep your sights on the kill feed. And if you see a lot of people die, and you're that deep in, just get killed. I think your amp it up was fine, and your crossfade was fine. Yeah, you seem like you're using the appropriate things at the appropriate times. But remember, Lucio, I only saw you play it for 4 minutes, and you're just kind of throwing yourselves at a choke point. It's hard to do, but essentially, as you go through a choke point, you need a speed boost. I think you did that twice. One time you got charged. That happens. So I think you understand the concept of Lucio. It's just getting it put into practice. I think you were fine here. Trying to think. Zen, Lucio. Oof. Yeah. I think overall, I think you're doing fine. I know you got rolled and you got stomped.
Aiming's overrated.
Thing is that happens to me too, and sometimes you can do everything right and still lose. That's just life. Obviously your Lucio could be better, but I think for what level you were at and what your team was doing, I think you were doing it pretty well that game. The only thing better you could have been doing is like maybe try to start shot calling, but that starts going on. That stuff's less about how you're playing the hero and more about psychology and helping your teammates figure out how to do stuff. I'll only critique that on higher level people because that's all really that only matters in Grandmaster and up. Yeah, you seriously don't know what to do, where to be. So Lucio, just we're talking very broad strokes right now. Lucio likes to be right behind the tanks.
Timing's overrated.
And then from here, you can go out with speed boost and get something done. And you can be in front of the tank, but not by a lot. Like, you want to be on the side of them. So if for Hollywood, point one, like there's this wall here. How far back I can. So if this is the main choke point. Okay. I'll just redo it all. Like here's that main choke point. There's the security room, right? Here's the high ground. Got a bridge and a staircase that goes this way. We'll do yellow for the point. Get the staircase that goes down this way.
Timing's overrated.
And this is all staircase. And there's some stairs right here. So as a Lucio, like, if your team doesn't want to go straight in, and here's the problem. If your team wants to go in, then you speed boost. And you're probably going to be right behind your tank. If your tank's here, you're here. Now, if your team's not pushing in, then you can be a little bit more nimbly-bimbly. You can kind of go up here. As you're up here, you can try to control the high ground, boot people off. You just kind of control an area to a lesser extent, while still, you know, using your AoE, healing, and assisting with your teammate stuff. As a Lucio, once you start attacking, that's where things get really tricky with Lucio, because he's a mixture between support and I don't want to say damage, but it's like support and control. So as everyone's fighting in here, Lucio may wall right up here and get to that high ground and boot people off. Like, you may do something like that. That is completely legit. Lucio's one of the few. He's the only support right now that will physically move away from the team a little bit to do something, right? If Zen wants to hurt someone, he sits with the team, he discords someone, and he shoots him in the face. Mercy's just kind of stuck at the hand of anyone else. And then Ana usually stays around, like, she stays pretty far back. First heals her team, so you can get a shot off, she gets a shot off. But Lucio will actually, with his speed boost, go out and extend a little bit. Some would say overextending, but he's pretty quick. He's very quick. Especially with good wall riding. That's when you can start lashing out a little bit and providing your team some extra positional benefits. While still supporting the team.
Timing's overrated.
And that's why it's really hard to discuss positioning as Lucio, because once the fight starts, all fucking hell breaks loose. But before the fight, you want to stay side by side probably with your tank and kind of support him on a flank that he doesn't necessarily have the best access to. But yeah. That's what I have to say about that one. Lucio positioning is a little bit trickier. But only during the combat phase. When you're not, you can just do, like, it's very simple, I think, beforehand, getting to the right position, looking to do something. But it's about using speed boost to take advantage of openings and amping it up with it, but also controlling the difficult areas that the rest of your team can't hold. I see a lot of, in professional play, I'll see a lot of stuff with Lucio's, like, they're the ones that are keeping this high ground clear on Hollywood. Like, as long as the attack is happening, like, they're not just going there by themselves. But if the attack is happening on point, then they're going up to the high ground here and trying to pushing people off and trying to control that way. Yeah, Lucio's technically like an area denial. He's support, like he is healing, and he's an area denial stuff. It's interesting. He's a cool character, but knowing when and where to do that and how to do that and safely do it, it depends. It just depends. Every fight's different, so I can give you like rough guidelines behind it, but it's gonna take a lot of understanding who you are or like what class you need to fill, where the classes are at the same, like what classes are in the game and what who's playing them. But yeah,
Timing's overrated.
so if you got like projectiles up here, then maybe you have a better time of pushing them off the high ground. But if you got 3 hit scans guy and a support hero, probably best not to go up there because you'll get fucked up. Lucio is a good troubleshooter. Lucio, I guess he does. I mean, he just likes to fuck things up a bit. He'll come in, he'll boop, and he'll push people around, and he just makes you really work for keeping whatever position you're trying to hold. But it's hard to have any clear and fast rules for him. So just keep playing. I think, like I said, I think everything you're understanding the concepts of Lucio fine, and that's why I'm not like correcting a lot of stuff. Like you had the idea of Lucio, like every time your team was going in or if you're chasing after someone, you're speed boosting. Between that, you were healing. Like you were doing the right things, it just didn't pay out. And that's what I'm saying, like you can do the right things in a game and still lose. Like that's just what happens. But fundamentally, I think you're doing everything correctly. It just, shit didn't go your way that time. It's not a bad thing. But that is it. Do you have any questions, Supa? So I should have tried to push people off the high ground. In this one, you couldn't have. Because your team was back here.
Finally recognized.
Like I said, that's what happens if your team was attacking the point and everyone was here, then you could have done it. But you guys never got to the point. Like, Lucio can't just run up here and boot people off the high ground. He can't just go over here and boot people off the high ground. You're going to get killed. You're a support hero. You have to work with your team. Your team was never in a position to get in, so you couldn't do anything in here. Babachu with smiley faces. Thank you for the sub, man. Yeah, it's not your fault. Like if you're upset that you feel like you weren't doing much, it's because Lucio can't do much on his own. If his team is there with him, then he can do a lot. Like he can orbit around the team, if you want to think about it like that. If the team's here, Lucio can definitely orbit around the team. Let me try to actually draw that well. He can orbit around the team and get out and start doing stuff on the outskirts. But if your team is back here, like yours was, you have no choice, no chance of doing anything out there. So you did well. Don't worry about it. Everyone has a fucking match. Like, man, guys, I've lost 600 SR in a couple days. Like, don't worry about doing badly one game. I think you're on the right path, man. Just keep going. Yeah, that's so weird when I was lost. My team made it to the point, so I didn't know what to do. Your team made it to the point once, and I don't think you were with them.
Finish the ride,
I think you're talking about this push. There's only one push you guys actually made it in. I think this is the one where you get charged. You're trying to get everyone in, but look how bad this push was. Your Winston was already in. He's falling down, and the D.Va's just going up. And then you kind of just go in way too deep. By the time you get to your team here, they are all dead.
Not so nice.
There's nothing you can do here.
I've been.
But here's your next push.
Hey, more down the support now.
Also, your teammates just said that you're down to support, so you're the solo healer now. Wasn't a bad idea, you just got flashbang, that happens. So this... Yeah. So you try to help your teammates, but everyone's dead. Everyone's already dead. Look, there's no one here. There's one person just died and the other guy's getting charged. He's dead. No one's here. So that's when you waste your ult, but don't worry about that. Here's the next push. You're ferrying people forward.
We need to rush the point right now.
And so you help get that kill, but your guy gets charged. There's nothing... I mean, you could have booped him, but that's tough. Now you just made the wrong choice. Like, I don't think you even needed to be in this room in the first place. But there was a McCree there that you didn't know about, and he fucked you up. Next one. Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. So you're trying your best here. And you can't, this is when you can't go out in orbit just because everyone's just pointing at you and trying to kill you. So yeah, you couldn't have done shit on that one. You couldn't have done shit. Literally, couldn't have done shit. There's nothing you could have done there. So don't worry about that. Yeah. Don't you worry about this one.